Crazy ass story time. 23 years ago, there was this mother of 2 children who just recently had a 3rd child. Soon after, the newborn baby was sleeping in the nursery while they were throwing a house party, and unfortunately, during the party, the house caught on fire. Everyone scrambles out of the house and they couldn't get to the baby, and then the cops concluded that the baby had died in the fire. But her other 2 kids made it out alive. And even though the cops told her that her baby had died, she refused to believe it. Many years later, the mother took her 2 children to a birthday party, and there was this other woman there with her child. And now the mother looks at that child and is in shock because she looks so much like her other 2 kids. She goes up to the little girl and says that she has bubble gum in her hair so that she can steal a few strands of her hair. She took it to a lab and they DNA tested it, and that little girl was her child. So it turns out many years ago during that house party, a woman that the mother knew went upstairs, took the baby, and started the fire so that the baby would be declared as dead and she could easily get away with kidnapping her. And then she ran from the cops and they can't find her.
I'd have 1 nickel, but the fact that that even happened is so fucked.
So my last TikTok blew up and I was not expecting that, but I'm gonna do a story time on how my sister's ex-boyfriend came to my house and tried to kill my entire family. And a lot of you commented same, so like if you want to talk, like my DMs are open. So they got together in 2017 because they met through friends of friends. And right off the bat, my mom was like, I don't like this kid. And folks, just so you know, your mother's intuition, always right. It's always right. We started to know that something was really up when she stopped going to like school events. She stopped hanging out with her friends. She didn't go to homecoming, and she didn't even go to her own senior prom. Imagine not going to your senior prom. But the biggest surprise came like a couple weeks after her senior prom. She broke up with the kid. But of course, he kept texting her, was trying to be manipulative, as you can imagine some of the things he said to her to try and make her stay. And then we didn't hear from this kid for months until the night before my sister left for college. So this is part 2 of how my sister's ex-boyfriend came to my house and tried to kill my entire family. And I was hella sick this night, so I went to bed at around like 10:30 p.m. and I knocked out. But my entire family woke up to somebody using the knocker on our front door really, really aggressively. Now my front door is kind of weird. We have a deadbolt lock, and then we have a keypad that if we lock that, anyone that knows the pin can get into our house, no worries. But if we lock the deadbolt, you can't get in, period, unless someone from the inside unlocks it. So my dad was pissed because he thought one of us accidentally locked the deadbolt and locked one of my other sisters outside when they were supposed to be home by curfew, which was 11:15 p.m. So without thinking, my dad just opened the front door because I live in a quiet town. Nothing really happens here. And keep in mind, it was thundering and pouring rain out, so it was literally something out of a movie. And when my dad opened the door, the kid was standing there with a gun and a knife in his hand, smiling at my dad. Part 3 of how my sister's ex-BF came to my house and tried to kill my entire family. So the kid tried getting into the house and was actually in the house at one point. But fortunately, my dad was able to push him hard enough out of the house and deadbolt the door while I was still sleeping. Next thing I know, I woke up to my dad screaming up to my mom, "He's here, he has a gun." I ran to my sister's room and we barricaded ourselves in her room while we waited to just listen at what was going on. Now, of course, remember, it was pouring rain out, so my dad couldn't even see outside to see where this kid went. And we were so freaked out because all of the other doors in my house are glass doors. So everyone in my house was on a phone call with 911. Fortunately enough, he went away and we didn't know where he went at the time, but the police did show up. The scary thing was that who was his ex-girlfriend, my sister, was not home at the time, so we didn't know where she was either. Part 4 of how my sister's ex-BF came to my house and tried to kill my entire family. So the cops had just arrived as the kid fled the scene. My parents ended up calling my sister frantically to figure out where she was, and she finally picked up, but the cops had to meet her at the end of my street.
Story time. One time I fell asleep in the bath before a pom competition, and because I was just tired, you know, sometimes you just be tired, and it's my water bottle cap, and I ended up going, like, fully submerged under the water, and I was drowning, but I didn't know, because, like, I was just sleeping, I guess, and I was just, like, chilling there, and then, my brother and my mom thought something was wrong, because I wasn't answering, and it was, like, time to go to my pom competition thing, and then, so they broke down my bathroom door because it was locked, and then my brother and mom came in and they thought I was dead, so my mom ran downstairs crying, and then my brother tried to like revive me because I was like purple, and so he slapped my face a bunch of times and was like, wake up, wake up. And then I didn't wake up, but then he slammed my head against the back of the tub and I woke up. But then when I woke up, I saw him and his friends standing there staring at my naked body in the bath, and I've been traumatized because of this ever since, and that's why I'm so fucking weird.
Put a finger down if you're no longer allergic to almonds because the first week you started working at Starbucks, you had a really bad encounter with a really rude customer, and instead of just telling your manager what the hell was up, you went to the back and started crying, and then halfway through your crying session, you realized that you sold almond croissants at Starbucks, so you stole an almond croissant, broke it in half, and ate half of it, knowing damn well you were allergic to almonds, just so you could break out in hives and go home. And then eventually, every single bad encounter you had with a customer, you just started eating half an almond croissant, so you can break out in hives and go home, until after about the 10th time of eating an almond croissant, you were like, shit, this isn't working anymore. So you started eating a whole bag of fucking almonds until eventually that stopped working and now you're no longer allergic to almonds? Who wants to go next?
I just got off of work and I swear to God, somebody left their footprint on my window. Look at this. Nasty. Dude, what the fuck? It just moved. I'm like freaking out. I don't know what the hell to do. There's nobody in this parking lot but me. Like, I just closed. Call the cops or something. Alright, you guys screenshotted, so I'm gonna open the door. I'm just recording just in case. Hello? What the fuck? Oh my God. Alright, you guys screenshotted, so I'm gonna open the door. I'm just recording just in case. Hello? What the fuck? Oh my God. So after I slammed the door, I ran away and got as far as possible because I didn't know if she wanted to hurt me or anything. I waited a little bit after that just to see if she would get out because obviously now I know she's in my car. But she didn't, so I had no other choice. So I called the cops and they got here, and when they got into my car, they asked her like why she was there, and she was trying to say that I kidnapped her and that was the reason why she was there. Obviously the cops didn't believe her and they arrested her and stuff like that, and then after that I just told them what really happened, and yeah.
Story time. You see those chairs over there? We were all sitting in those chairs, and right next to me was this old, kinda not old man. And he had his earbuds in and he looked perfectly normal, so I sat down next to him. Little did I know this man was not normal. So he was listening.
He's coming back. He started coming back. Oh my God.
He's right there.
I think he's gone, guys.
He's not gone. He's not gone. He's right out there.
I'm just gonna re-explain what happened yesterday at the mall. While I was waiting for some of my friends to get done in the store, I sat down in a chair next to this man. He had his earbuds in, he was on his phone, and he looked perfectly normal. Once I sat down, he looked at me and he started singing to his song like out loud. Like it was loud. And he was pointing to me and like gesturing at me, and I'm just like, okay. You know, I just went along with it. When my friends were done in the store, I was just really uncomfortable, so I stood up, just kind of looked at him, and I was like, okay, and we left. As we were walking away, I turned around and realized that the man was following us. I was like, come on, guys, come on, pick up the pace. And when we started running, so did he. I ran into Build-A-Bear Workshop and hid in a corner, and little did I know there was a window above me, and he could see me. He put his head on the window, and I kid you not, he literally went like this. I was freaking out. I was on the verge of crying. The workers at Build-A-Bear Workshop were so kind, and they were like, if he comes back, just tell us. So we were waiting outside, and I was doing the story time in the first video, and that's when the man came back. My friends had to leave the store and take a lap around so that we would lose him. It was creepy.
So I'm gonna do part 3 because everybody's asking for it. So I'm just gonna reiterate what happened after my part 1. After I saw him coming towards us again, I ran into the store. When I was in there, he was waiting outside the door and he wouldn't come inside, but he was staring at me again. I was looking at him and then he started like dancing like really weirdly. He was like shimmying, like you all know what shimmying is. And he was just like shimmying and dancing. It was really weird. So then this is when Ellie, Jamie, and Jenna took a lap around the mall to try to lose him. Luckily it worked and we lost him and we didn't see him again. Now this morning I woke up to a text on my Instagram. It was a girl named Maddie. She had DM'd me and said, were you at the Columbia Mall yesterday? I told her yes, and she was like, I was there too and I think I know the man you're talking about. And I was like, really? And she was like, yeah, he was dancing and singing to us too, and then he started following these other girls around. And I'm like, oh my God, this man didn't just do it to us. He was probably doing it to other girls too. Stay safe.
Weird things I did as a child. So in elementary school, when someone would ask to go to the bathroom, I would time them to like try to figure out if they pooped or not. So then if I had to go poop, I would try to beat their time so nobody would know that I pooped. We all had like a naughty friend. You know, one that knew more than you. That was my best friend for me. One time I heard her and her sister say the word boner. I forgot the context. I asked what it meant and neither of them would tell me what it meant. So I went home and opened my laptop and I asked Google, "What's a boner?" My mom and stepdad were in the living room and my door was open. I slept with my mom until I was 11. If I had singular pieces of food, like popcorn or M&Ms, I would put them in a line on my carpet and eat them like a mouse.
I have another cheater, and this one might take a while, so I will break this one up into parts. So usually I catch guys cheating on their girlfriends, but today I caught a girl cheating on her girlfriend. This amazing girl messaged me and she asked if I could text her girlfriend, even though I usually don't do that. I said yes, how old she is. She told me she's my age, so I said, okay, what's her Insta? I messaged the girlfriend, hey. She says, hey. I said, how are you? She said, I'm good. I said, good. Sorry for the random message, but you were my recommended. I just wondering if you had a boyfriend/girlfriend. She said, that's good. And no, it's okay. I understand. I said, so I'm not stepping on people's toes if we talk. And she said, no, LOL. I was really hurt by this, so I decided to keep messaging and see what else I could get. And I said, okay, would you maybe want to hang sometime? She said, where do you stay at? Like for part 2. We're here for part 2. So after this girl's girlfriend asked me where I'm from, I texted the original girl and I said, where are you guys from? So I can tell her that I'm in her area, even though I'm not. And she says, did she respond? I said, and yes, I'll do a screenshot. So I tell the girlfriend I just moved here. She goes, oh, I said, yeah, where are you from? Trying to act like I wouldn't know. And she told me, same area. And I said, wait, that's super sick. Is it awkward if I ask you for coffee or something? You're kind of out of my league. And she goes, no, that's not awkward. And no. I said, you're into girls, right? And I couldn't believe this girlfriend was going along with me asking her out. So I took a screenshot and sent it to the girl. And I said, I want to wait till she says she wants to actually hang. She said, okay, yeah, let's see what she says. And I sent her. Like for part 3. Part 3. So I asked the girlfriend out and I was like, you like girls, right? She said, yeah, I do. I said, okay, good. So you're interested? I just wanted confirmation. Then she says,